Grand finals is here, friends. I cannot stress it enough. This has been quite the wild ride, the wild journey. Not even just the matches we've been commentating, the matches that Nurse and Me's had the opportunity to commentate as well.
Yes,
Too. Big shout out to our friends from the north,
absolutely.
and especially Nurse too. I mean, just in a completely different time zone. I believe the Vancouver, if I'm not mistaken,
Hmm.
and Me's is all the way over in Toronto. So yeah, I mean, Smash definitely brings the best out of the communities, has connected us, Dak and I, and a handful of others, especially on the production end of things,
Yeah.
connected us in ways I would never have imagined. And wow, just happy to be here.
No, 100%. And we're going to take a look at how we got here literally on the brackets. Let's see how how that road panned out here. You can see the lower bracket run. Castelia had dropped down into lowers quarters and made it all the way through before running into Noodle with that 3-0. The video NC, all big players here. Sensational, a player that was the tournament favorite, I think, coming into this, dropping down in before losers or lower quarters, right? Like that was pretty unexpected, I would say. A lot of even us and Me's Nurse as well kind of expected Seth to be one of the top 2 players in this grand final and didn't even make it that far. Still, I mean that's nothing to say about them. That just goes to show how crazy the competition is here, right?
Yeah, competition, of course, has been very, very thick. And yes, Seth is an absolute killer. When I first came into the community, it was 2 Stephs, that always got brought up. It was Steph Stational, then Steph, the Yoshi player from Chicago as well, aka Steph McBoogie Woogie. And so because of that, when I seen their name in bracket, I was like, yo, I'm very excited for this. However, yes, that is how the lower end of things played out. Noodle, of course, doing away with Castelia in a pretty handily fashion. But here we are on the winner side of things, and we had Choka and Rescue Nerd play earlier as well. Castelia in the video. Simplicity and NC, I know we had the opportunity to commentate some of these as well. Rescue Nerd and Castelia played. Rescue Nerd, of course, was able to move to upper finals where they sent Noodle down into the losers portion of the bracket where they now sit comfortably as they wait for grand finals to kick off.
Yeah, I think that set against Choco's Rescue Nerd's only set that they had not dropped a game. So far, Rescue Nerd has been clawing their way back, has been winning it by whatever means necessary. And honestly, that's just as, good as winning by a 3-0. A win's a win, a dub's a dub. And when you're able to pull off multiple 3-2 victories going into grand finals, that's that kind of clutch factor that you want to have here. But now we're getting that Midwest versus Southwest matchup here. Rescue Nerd and Noodle, round 2, grand finals, the sequel. I mean, Batman Begins is good, but everyone knows The Dark Knight's the best of the trilogy, so I'm looking forward to seeing how this pans out.
That's right. Talk to him, man. I guess when we look at it like this, Noodle, of course, an absolute terror for a lot of ways. Of course, Wii Fit, there's still a lot of head scratching situations that go into fighting against a Wii Fit. Their ability to KO you at ridiculously low percent. Coupled with the fact that Noodle is also just an absolute monster at this game. However, Rescue Nerd, no slouch. Nest and Ultimate is kind of like just the good old classic. Nest is tough. Nest puts on percent. Nest takes shots. Nest struggles a little bit off stage, but if you don't got that prowess to get out there and go get him, you'll be all right. However, Noodle does not care about any of that. Noodle will get out there and go and get you.
Oh, absolutely. And here we go. Grand finals, best of 5 as it has been all day. In a matchup we've seen before, but will it go the same as we've seen previously? So far, it's already popping off as we've expected. What the coast to coast? All the way from left to right. Shane McMahon's it, and Rescue Nerd only taking 26% to earn themselves their first kill.
Wow. What a electrifying start right here. Rescue Nerd, just really pulling out all the stops here, not holding anything back. And nothing off the forward air, but using the PK fire just to alleviate a little bit of pressure, understanding the imminent threat of Noodle in the corner. No up smash. Love that attempt, though. Going to try to rinse and repeat and keep Nest off their feet.
Absolutely. Rescue Nerd, spending a little bit too much time on that platform, kind of playing with their food, and unfortunately, you better eat those greens before they fall off the plate. And Noodle will take advantage. They will get that kill. But just like that, Rescue Nerd can easily string a few of these PK fires, a few of these forward airs to get them back into this, but they have to worry about that deep breathing. It is, in fact, that aura is still there, and Noodle's going to do something with it, I'm sure.
There it is. I love, Rescue Nerd's manageability of PK fire. Even when it doesn't hit, like, even if you're caught in it, you have to hold shield, which is not a spot that you want to be in with Ness, because Ness, no matter what the percent is, can either combo you off of a throw or just absolutely KO you. And I think in a case like this, Noodle has to be very well aware of that. Yes, you are going red, but when I have PK Fire and Thunder, I have tools to keep you out. Uh-oh. I have tools to keep you away from that ledge, though. Back into the corner, wow. Getting bonked. You got to watch your head up there.
Yeah, those headers are so precise. Just hitting Rusky Nerd right as they're hanging on the ledge. Now Rusky Nerd finds himself the first time down in this, as Noodle also regenerating some health here. I'm sure Rusky Nerd would like to do the same, using that PK flash to try and stop any kind of pressure at the ledge, but stalling things out. And then the dash attack just out of range gets back thrown there by Rusky Nerd, who gets bared right off the Angel platform. And now it's one stock apiece.
There it is, keeping this thing airtight. Gets the down tilt, tough for most characters in the cast to work around. One of the quickest down tilts in the business. Can't quite find any real success here with PK Fire. The Stun and Salutation, though, keeping these percents as close as possible. But sooner or later in the match, Noodle's going to disengage and try to get their items set up in place.
No way.
No, you did not.
No, you can't be going for that. That's way too much. And you can even see Rusky Nerd is trying to like fish for these PK fires a bit too often, and Noodle's just contesting with, an anti-air right then and there. And then there's the dash attack, and that will be enough. And just like that, Noodle, remember, there's a grand finals reset potential here if Noodle wins these next two stages. So just like that, Rusky Nerd put on their heel and might have to change things up.
Yeah, Rusky Nerd may have been sitting and kind of cooling off a little bit. When you go to grand finals, you do have to keep yourself warmed up, or at least if, nothing else, keep your mindset ready for grands, because whoever's coming in is battle tested. They have played a handful of games, and they're ready to throw it down. And especially with Noodle, you were kind of, I'll just put it this way. You weren't the nicest player to Noodle, with the taunting and all that fun stuff. So, they're ready to play.
Right? I mean, that's the thing is that okay. We're gonna rewind it back and see this in slow motion. The PK fire, that was hot, by the way.
That was hot.
That relook right there, that was sick.
That was Thanos with the time stone right there on Vision. Just had to reverse it for the one time, and no reverse needed. We're actually going to go ahead and run it right back, friends. Yes, Noodle went up a game, just really dug deep, and of course, very warmed up. Came into this match with a lot of momentum. Rusky Nerd's going to have to shake the rust off. And we'll see what we can get here. We'll go ahead and go for the fake out on the charge. Very clean stuff. However, not clean enough. In the past, it was Rusky Nerd kind of punishing Noodle for jumping around a lot. Now we're starting to see it the other way around.
Noodle has to be careful of those air dodges in. Ness totally wants that. You can get a jab, get a PK fire off that. A great job by Rusky Nerd to challenge that header with the forward air, though. And that said, still very much a kill percent here. A back throw from Ness will not kill. There it is, but it will give him some stage control, do some more damage. Oh, reflects the header all the way back with the PK Thunder. And then, of course, things are going to get traded right back out. But, hey, that was a really solid play there as Rusky Nerd trying to get the momentum going in their favor.
Rusky Nerd is doing their damnedest. Down tilts at the ledge. Before we were seeing down smash earlier when they played. Now we're seeing it kind of turn into down tilt, really wanting some sort of opening there at the ledge. If not with the down smash to KO, at least down tilt will keep Leaf it off of their feet in the corner. Ooh, oh my God, swinging big for the fence, though.
Oh, wow, I love that. The reverse forwarder to try and get a stage spike there on Noodle, but Noodle already recovered back onto the stage. And now things are almost as even as they possibly could get here, but Noodle taking a fat back air all the way off stage, responding just a little bit to get back on, but nice parry. Rusky Nerd is still feeling it. The jab comes through, but no, the mash from Rusky Nerd is crazy. Probably listening to Nurse's advice earlier and starting to spin that stick.
That's right. Nurse, one of the best player commentator combinations in the business. I would listen to what Nurse has to say if I was a player of this caliber. I'll put it that way.
Oh, for sure. As a commentator, I'm learning from Nurse.
The Nurse is an absolute monster. As same can be said here for both of these two players. Now, right now, Rusky Nerd in a bit of a sticky situation here. Not to say Noodle is not 151%, though. It's a little different than 100% here in these situations. So with that in mind, Gonna go ahead and, yes, use the header to take Ness's head off there. Noodle looking to reset this bracket. This ain't looking good here for Rusty Nerd.
That's the thing, right? Like if you're up and you have the advantage in grand finals and you lose like almost definitively on the first set and it gets reset, that's like mentally gonna take you down so far. And now like, okay, now I have to do this again and potentially win 3 more when I wasn't able to do it the first time. Like that already speaks to Noodle's favor here, especially when they have the lead on this second game of a potential reset.
That's right, it is a bit draining. Noodle right now really trying to dig deep. Rescue Nerd, though, really struggling. I mean, these trades, they're just not going in your favor. That should be a back throw. There it is. Oh, nothing off the header, but that's enough right there to keep them back into the corner. Oh, wow. And then tried to use the back hitbox turn jab. Very sneaky stuff. Very, very sneaky.
They're going to avoid that yo-yo, but a back air from Ness will kill now. So if Noodle jumps up, that's huge. That could be death. Oh, and almost goes out and does go out and almost lands with the forward air poke. There's
no way.
Yeah. That actually kills. And Noodle now up 2-0 in the first set of grand finals. They're looking to get this run back right now. They want some revenge after losing in the upper bracket.
Is Noodle about to do it? I mean, you know what? Let's look at the replays here again. All right. Love that. There's the back throw. Now here's the PK Thunder. A little bit of finesse right there. Finesse remix, if you will. Throws the header back at Wii Fit. Of course, that is always the risk you run when you throw that thing haphazardly, and I get it. I play Link. When I'm in disadvantage off stage, I just pull bomb, just unknowingly, not even thinking. You know, and it can't be used against you, sadly.
Yeah. And we're going back to PS2. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if we see PS2 for the remainder of this tournament. So, you know, almost every single time, and certainly not coming down to stage selection here. But I almost wonder if you're Rusty Nerd, like, okay, like, sure, I can win this potentially on PS2, but I haven't been winning. So do I change things up just to try and give myself some kind of edge here with a surprise factor? You know, is it going to be enough?
That is the million-dollar question. We'll just have to wait and see. Pokemon Stadium, of course, is a stage I feel like both of these two characters benefit a lot on, but sometimes you put yourself in that position where, like, I benefit from this, but I know they do. I want to take it away from them because I know they like it, but I don't want to lose it for myself either. So I'm sure there's an internalized struggle. Runs up, goes for the up smash. Yeah, get the heck out of here, man. Oh, my God, Noodle. These are some spicy noodles.
Yeah, looks like Ruskiner was just out of grab range there and gets punished for it. Noodle, of course, at kill percent here, but Ruskiner has to commit and does so. Even things up at 2 stocks apiece. Ruskiner needs to start generating some momentum for themselves here. Unfortunately, if they don't, Noodle will be resetting these grand finals, and by then it's anyone's game.
That's right. Using the PK Fire. Trying to open up there with a couple corridors off stage. There's another PK Fire though in the corner. Now, we haven't seen much of this. We have seen down smash with the ledge. We've even seen them elect to go for down tilt. Love that option. But it seems like it's the PK Fire that Noodle's just having a really tough time dealing with. Even though they're not like eating the majority of the damage they could be, the fact that they keep getting caught in it, I think that just is a sign that maybe we need to switch up our approach here a little bit. Oh my God.
Yeah.
Oh no.
Definitely getting a little too shook there, and air dodges into the stage, trying to avoid that yo-yo. Likely looking for an air dodge up towards the ledge, doesn't get it, and now Rusty Nerd starting to feel themselves. Oh no! Oh my God. I was gonna ricochet and hit him. That would have been crazy.
That would have certainly been absolutely crazy. Nair out of shield though right here just to keep the pressure going. Okay. I like that. Even though obviously force smash wasn't going to be enough to connect, just hey, this is an option. I will swing away and knock it back at you.
Yeah, I think he might have been looking to send back that Salute the Sun and try to just immediately line drive it back at the Wii Fit trainer. And that's certainly not a bad option to have against a character who has 2 projectile ball attacks, right? Like you want to have that option with you. Rusty Nerd now with a almost full stock lead here over it. There's the back throw, that should do it. And Rusty Nerd finally gets on the board here in this first grand final set. It's not over just yet, Rod.
That was a wild ass jump in. That was like, yo, you are about to get thrown. Wow. I mean, damn, just kind of just jumped in his face. And then not only did that, but then touched his shield. Like, Ness is the one guy in the corner. Do not touch his shield. Like, you know, before the cage fight, it's like, hey, the guy over there, do what you want, just don't touch his shield, all right? And wow, did just that. Great stuff right there from Rescue Nerd, just to hold on to their winner side of life. Noodle right now going up in a commanding way, 2-1. But Rescue Nerd might be showing some signs of life here. Let's see.
Yeah, Rusky Nerd sticking to their guns and not changing things up. I mean, I don't think either of these players really have a very deep character pool, which, just goes to show they're masters of their craft and their characters, but it's not a situation where they might be looking for a potential counterpick. I think they just play Wii Fit Trainer. I think they just play Nest. So it's really coming down to, all right, we're going to keep running this on PS2, and eventually I'm going to adapt or I'm going to die. And Rusky Nerd adapting just in time to do so. One more game, and right there, they can easily take it. So that momentum that they might have lost. Oh, no. Okay. So we are going to go to Kalos. So I love this by Noodle, right? Like, Rusky Nerd finally gets the feeling of doing things on PS2 and sends the Kalos, but no! Just like that. If you're going to change stages, I'm going to change your stock count.
Wow, maybe these noodles are not as spicy as I once thought here. Maybe these noodles are starting to cool off or something. I don't know what's going on here. But one thing I do know is that Rescue Nerd is certainly starting to come alive. Just took them a little bit too long. But that's all right, though. They're finally here.
Damn, that is a devastating start for Noodle. I mean, Rusky Nerd, when it looked like they might have get reset on the grand finals, now it looks like they're about to take it to a game 5, and we know how good a Rusky Nerd is in a game 5 situation.
That we do. No lie. Gonna go for the upper there. Rescue Nerd, of course, really struggling to get back onto solid ground. That is the one trade-off on Kalos. Of course, the platform is just your position so far away from the center. I mean, it's always almost in your best interest to try to, play away from the middle of the stage at times, depending on what character you are. However, Rescue Nerd here trying to, again, anti-air the hell out of them. If not, keep them on their feet. Oh, what were you looking for, Rescue Nerd? Looking for something dirty.
Oh, wow. Rusky Nerd, I'm surprised they even tried to challenge that. Like, that was that was a clear bait, and Noodle gets away with that. Lays the trap and springs it, and now Noodle is able to start putting on some damage right now, piling it on. Every hit's doing at least 12%, if not more. And then, wow, the drag down forward air into the grab. That's so clean by Rusky Nerd.
Rusky Nerd is really turning this up here. I mean, again, there is always the imminent threat of, oh, delicious. I was just getting ready to say, there's the threat of me being able to absorb what you're tossing out at me because I have so much space on a stage like this to see it coming. So yes, PK Fire might be a little bit more difficult to lay out, but I tell you what, though, you shoot any of your projectiles, I'm going to absorb them, man.
And one back throw, one back air will do this for Rusky Nerd to get themselves in a game-winning potential stock here against Noodle. There's the back throw. And that'll do it. One more stock for Noodle, and then we're going to go into game 5 unless Noodle can change things up and bring it back.
We're going to have to see how deep they can dig here. I mean, this is, really what separates the strong from the weak. That separates, high professional from top professional. And I think in a space like this, I could certainly understand how this is tough for you. However, you have got to dig deep and really stick to your guns. In that case, gun having to be a soccer or medicine ball there. Great stuff. Rescue Nerd, though, looking really strong here.
Yeah, they're dealing with this shield pressure very well. Oh, and look at that. The side magnet just in time, perfectly timed to completely re-heal their percent. Noodle wishes they could have that one back because now they're down by 64%, 75 and counting here as it's continued to stack up. You can see Noodle now trying to overcompensate a little bit here, constantly jumping in, and Rusky Nerd is starting to punish it every single time.
That's right, and that time the down smash at the ledge is going to close it out. Great stuff right there from Rescue Nerd, coming alive right there in that game number 4. Friends, we have ourselves a set here. I mean, no matter which way this was going to go, I mean, we're going to have ourselves a set regardless. However, Noodle opened up very strong those first 2 games. Rescue Nerd, especially in that last one, how they just closed out that corner, the back air right there when you wanted to go high. PK Thunder when you wanted to use your medicine ball. Rescue Nerd is just on an absolute tear right now.
This is now scary for Noodle. Last time these 2 players went to a game 5, it went the way of Rusky Nerd. If Rusky Nerd wins this, this will be their 3rd 3-2 series victory in a row. They have not lost a single series that has gone to 5 games. So this is all on Noodle to buck the trend, reset this grand finals, and secure their destiny here. And we are going to be changing over. I think this is the first time we've even seen this, a Smashville pick here.
That's right. Well, not a lot of, well, I'm not going to say not a lot of space. We got a little bit of room to work with since it's singles. I'm thinking of doubles, but, you know, obviously not to the extent of Kalos or Battlefield, but this still gets it done. Now, I'm curious to see how the space, I'm curious to see how the space is going to play into effect.
Oh, no. Oh, no. Oh, no. And hits it back. The yo-yo. No way. Rusky Nerd is all over him.
Good Lord, the gym equipment was out. We had bats and hula hoops and medicine balls. These guys were in the equipment room. Yeah, you got to get strong. How I feel them.
Yeah. Ooh. And now Rusky Nerd, all right, has to start to slow things down a little bit. Can't get too crazy, but very solid shield. Gets an easy grab. No back throw. Certainly trying not to scale it out a little bit here. But now they can't be getting hit off stage. Just exactly what Noodle wants. They've been really accurate with these headers so far. And no, the deep breathing had already been used, so it takes too long on the second attempt, and that's more than enough time for Rusky Nerd to get the grab and secure the kill.
That's right, 134% here. I'd like to say and climbing, but Noodle has yet to put on any more percent here. This is not good out of a jump. Well, actually, was not out of a jump. Very smart right there from Noodle to save it. Especially after how that last match on Kalos went. Oh, swings big for the Fins, 85%. This is not good.
Rusky Nerd is smelling blood in the water. They know this is their tournament right here, and all they need is 2 more kills to secure it. This is crazy as they are just relentless. Still getting a little bit crazy just on the platform. Noodle can shark through it, can immediately hit through that platform, so they got to be careful lingering right above Wii Fit Trainer's head.
That's right. Oh my goodness, the lingering thought here in this match is, can a Noodle dig deep enough to bring it back? Oh, hell.
Oh, no.
What the hell, Noodle? Oh, no.
Rusky Nerd not even taunting after that one. That's how you know they're like, oh, man, that is... We take those, but that's rough. And now 1 stock left for Noodle. Can they do this? Can they reset the bracket? Otherwise, Rusky Nerd's taking it home.
We'll see. He goes for the berry. I love the up close and personal, just you know, confidence that you have to have versus Ness, especially with the delayed jab. Looking for the berry, but what a way to close it out. Rusky Nerd is your champion. The PK missile to shut it down on the left side of the screen. Wow, what a closeout that was.
Rusky Nerd does not lose game 5. It just doesn't happen. It doesn't. And we see it yet again. 3-2 victories in a row for Rusky Nerd to secure themselves this tournament. An absolutely fantastic play as they take it not only for the school, but for themselves, and they get that $1,000, that prize pool. So congrats to both these players, but certainly congrats to Rusky Nerd for our first place victor here at the NACE Starly Collegiate Smash Ultimate Collegiate Finals.
Yes, I mean, we've come a long way to certainly get to this point, and wow, I mean, the matches were innovative, you know, from the very start, nail biting to the very finish as well, too. I mean, you know, Hero, DDD, DK, Bayonetta. We got so many different characters today, and Grand Finals was Ness and Wii Fit, and the Grand Finals also did not disappoint as well. I am, wow, what the hell? I'm just at a loss for words.
Yeah, this Grand Finals was so sick to the point where they were changing up stages. We went to Caluswood, to Smashville. Things were going crazy either way, and no matter what, neither of these players were willing to give an inch at all. And we're going to see some replays here. By the way, that was our 76th game of the broadcast, and that's what happens when you get best of 5s all across the board. And it all started in this set with a coast-to-coast right there from... Yes, that was crazy. Rusky Nerd just absolutely insane. And that said, it wasn't even a combo that got them the lead, right? Like, they had to work from behind.
Yeah, 100%, man. It just felt like you know, both sides really had to work hard in a lot of ways. Of course, Noodle dropping games early had to come down to the loser side, and then because of that, had to just really keep the momentum in line, not to only, you know, force it to a game 5, but then also try to get the reset too. But I'm just a firm believer that, you know, it's very easy for you, you know, to cool off in some of these exchanges, especially going up against a Nest of this caliber. This character is just very demoralizing, can certainly beat you down, kick you while you're down, and the whole nine, as you can see here in some of these exchanges on Kalos.
Yeah, I would say like the first stock of this game right here was so pivotal. Like this is where okay, Rusty Nerd was not going to get shook no matter what stage we're on, no matter what situation they're in. And then you start to see Noodle trying to scramble a little bit to try and change things up. This first stock was an absolute mayhem here. And you can see how Rusty Nerd was able to wade through the waters regardless of how crazy it was. Always coming out on top. The reads were crazy. And Noodle just kind of a step behind every time.
That's right. And you can see here in this final game here, going to go for the PK missile right into Noodle to shut it down in a very electrifying way, no pun intended. I mean, if there was ever a way to make a statement for yourself and to let them know, hey, you were never going to reset this thing, I was always destined to win this, it is definitely with PK missile in the final moments.
Absolutely. And I think we are going to end up talking to Rescue Nerd at some point here to see if we have any thoughts from our champion here. Still, I mean, Rod, this has been an absolute crazy tournament, a crazy series. We're going to see if we can get Rescue Nerd on board here to talk about their thoughts, but any other thoughts you have so far?
Yeah, one thought is let's go ahead and actually throw it to the bracket one more time, just for our friends who are showing up late and who maybe didn't get the opportunity to see how everything unfolded and just wanted to see how it plays out. Let's go ahead and take a look at it. So here's the upper portion of bracket here.
Look at that.
We had, to kick off the upper quarters, we had Choka and Rescue Nerd. Of course, Rescue Nerd shut that down. Castelia, the DDD extraordinaire, going up 3-2 on the video, who also, played very well. NC and Simplicity, I believe that was the Bowser Jr. Pokemon trainer combination Diddy Kong of players, if I'm not mistaken. And then we had Noodle and Moonblast, who also put up just a great showing as well. Upper semis, we have Rescue Nerd and Castella, NC and Noodle. And then, as you can see here with how everything kind of played out in grands, Rescue Nerd goes up 3-2 on Noodle. Noodle gets sent down to the loser's portion of the bracket, where Rescue Nerd is able to rinse and repeat the scenario once more, and then another 3-2 finish. So big shout out to them.
Yeah, the character diversity we saw in this bracket, like you mentioned, NC, you were right, Bowser Jr., Pokemon Trainer, all these different characters, DK, Bayonetta, obviously the Nest, obviously the Wii Fit Trainer. These are characters that certainly flourish in this environment, but also, if you're going to play these kinds of characters, you got to know what you're doing, right? Like, these aren't necessarily like, I mean, the Pokemon Trainer is kind of a pocket pick, but otherwise, these are characters you got to know what you're doing if you're going to be using them this late into a tournament. And you can tell Rescue Nerd and Noodle know their character inside and out. Still, I gotta, props to Rescue Nerd, who, again, winning 3-2 series in a row. I mean, that has to do something to your heart. You gotta have some palpitations after that, I would have to imagine.
You got to, man. I mean, I'm getting anxious just even thinking about being in a scenario like that. I couldn't even imagine having to perform at the level that Rescue Nerd and Noodle did, twice. So big shout out to them. And of course, we do have an interview coming up here, friends. If I'm not mistaken, I believe we have Rescue Nerd getting ready to jump in after we break down this losers portions here. So we had, losers round 8, got the video, and I believe that is HSY. They were able to go up 3-0. Steph Station, no, that's right, that is the legendary Steph Station. Unfortunately, ended up dropping to underdog there 3-1. NC, of course, we had the opportunity to see a little bit earlier on the winner side of bracket, ends up dropping to the video. Castella goes up 3-1 on underdog. And then, of course, we've seen what Noodle can do, because Noodle, of course, made it all the way to losers final. So, again, big shout out to Noodle once more.
Well, we are going to see is our victorious grand final champion here. Bring him in for an interview. Rescue Nerd joining us for an interview to talk about that performance. Rescue Nerd, first off, congratulations. How you feeling after that huge win?
I'm feeling great. Honestly, I was a little nervous going into it because I just don't know what to expect from all the different regions. But I'm glad I was able to clutch out the game fives when I needed to, and I feel good about the win.
Yeah, same. I mean, it was, it was a bit of a nail biter to commentate it, so I can only imagine what it been, what it is, for somebody like yourself in the driver's seat actually having to play this. My question is, what was going through your mind? I mean, here you are in grand finals, you haven't had a match in a while. Here, this Wii Fit comes in, they're already up 2 games. What did you do to turn it around?
Yeah, so I think what kind of happened was I was put on my back foot, and I had to kind of wake up because after I won the set in the winners finals, I was feeling pretty confident about beating Noodle again. And then he came into the set with adaptations I wasn't prepared for. And it took me a little bit to recognize everything that was going on. And so I had to just kind of take a step back, cool down, take some deep breaths, and then start pushing forward with what I knew I would win with.
And honestly, I mean, it's pretty crazy considering that you won your last three series 3-2 across the board. Like you had game five, game five, game five. What do you think about your preparation or maybe your game style, your mindset that allows you to excel in those game five situations?
I just think, in general, my flow chart going into a game is not as good as it can be. So a lot of the times I'm reliant on picking out a couple key habits that they have in their disadvantage and pushing them, like exploiting those. And so I'll end up with in a lot of like clutch scenarios that maybe I wouldn't think I'd need to be in, but I end up in those. So I'm pretty experienced in kind of taking the adaptations that I've made and pushing them and getting the win in the end.
Now, speaking of experience, I mean, to win a tournament like this, you certainly have to know what you're doing. You know your way around a setup or two. Let's put it that way. I mean, what is your
Yeah.
training regimen like? Like, do you go to weeklies? Do you go to majors? I know that there's still culturally a slight disconnect from like the collegiate portion of Smash to like the actual, grassroots area of Smash. But I mean, what is your training schedule like?
So I do go to weeklies. Fortunately, the school I'm in, UT Austin, we have a Smash Club, Longhorn Smash. Great people there, great training partners. We host weeklies there, and we're also really close to the scene in Austin, Texas. So there's a lot of kind of sharing of knowledge and training and practice in that regard. So yeah, I go to peak like 2 or 3 weeklies a week, and I've been trying to go to majors more often, usually when they just happen to be in the city that I'm in.
And
Yeah,
honestly, that I mean that makes sense that you had all that kind of preparation, and I certainly showed in your gameplay. Overall, though, you only had one 3-0 victory, and a lot of this stuff was close. What would you say is probably the scariest moment in this tournament where you felt like maybe the most shook, maybe like, oh, things might not go my way? Or was there a moment like that for you, or are you confident all the way through?
Um, I think that the moment like that was when I was playing Castelia, and the game five, they got me to my last stock, and I'm just terrified of what DDD can do in a random burst because you just never know. So I was really nervous to get that in, and finish the game out as quickly as possible at that point.
yeah. I was kind of nervous for you too, because Ness. I mean, Ness obviously has the button advantage on a character like DDD, but there are times where Ness is like trying to recover to the ledge or just, air dodge in, and then you got to worry about DDD dash attack and down tilt just
Yeah.
keeping you back into the corner. But you know, you were able to triumph and move through, and I'm really excited to see that. Really quick, man, before we let you go, because I know you're a busy person. Is there anybody that you want to shout out? Like, do you share the school pride like some of the other players? Like, you got a team of homies you want to let know you love them? Or
Yeah, I mean, the whole Longhorn Smash club is just a great support. Specifically, my fellow team members on the current team. Also, we studs, Tubik and Shulker, and I also want to shout out my girlfriend Luna, because I'm in her apartment right now, using her monitor and her Ethernet.
That's love and support right there. You love to see that. Yeah, one more
Mhm.
for me. I mean, you just got a bunch of money in your pocket. I'm sure you're still going through your semester at school right now. What's next for
Mhm.
you as a player? What are you looking forward to next?
Um, I mean, I'm looking forward to the return of locals because they've been at a small delay because of the COVID cases, but also the summer majors. There's a couple in
Mhm.
Texas that I'm really looking forward to going to and seeing if I could have a really good performance there.
Absolutely. Well, thank you so much for joining us. Congratulations on your victory, that crazy run, the money you won, and everything else that comes with it. And we hope to see you in some more tournaments succeeding just as much as you did here.
Oh, thank you very much. I enjoyed listening to the commentary. It was great.
And you made it easy for us. You put on some absolutely crazy games. It was a lot of fun watching, man.
Awesome. Thank you very much.
All right. Well, thank you for joining us. That was our champion Ruskiner taking it 3-2 over Noodle. Rod, I mean, I think that wraps it up here for us, man. But you got any final words for us? Because there was a lot to say. I think it's all been said, but it's hard to sign off after such an awesome tournament like that. I wish we could have some more games, but it is what it is.